I've seen these lights floating around on Amazon and a few other websites recently, so I decided to pick one up and give it a shot and see how it compared to my TLR-1 from Streamlight. That's my other weapon light, so I figured that's a pretty common light, so it would be a good comparison. So we'll talk about the comparison in a minute, but this is the OLight PL Mini Valkyrie, and so far I've been pretty impressed with it. I mounted it to my Glock. It does have a different mounting system than some of the others. It's got a lock switch here, which sticks out a little bit, but not very much. It's pretty decent where it's at. It's got one bulb up front, two activation switches that are just press down, press up, or press down on both, ambidextrous, left and right hand. And one of the things we'll get into later is that charging port right there. So first off, we'll get right into the comparison between the two. So the OLight is 2.41 inches. It's pretty small. The Streamlight by comparison is almost an inch longer. It's 3.39 inches. You can see that difference. That is, an inch is a lot when you're trying to carry concealed or competition or anything else, whatever you may be doing with this thing. An inch is a lot, and it will help it fit underneath the barrel of some guns that the TLR-1 maybe just doesn't fit under. The width, you don't save as much. It's 1.23 for the Valkyrie. It's 1.43 for the TLR-1. So you get a little bit of savings there, but not much. The weight is significant, 4.18 ounce for the TLR-1 and 2.19 ounces, so almost 2 ounces difference in weight there. They claim that this will have 400 lumens, while the TLR-1 will have 300 lumens, but the beam pattern is different. So I'll show you some pictures later, but since the beam pattern is different, I think you have to decide which one you want to go with and for what. But again, we'll talk about that a little later. Runtime, this will go about 70 minutes, but it's rechargeable. This will go about 150 minutes on the lowest setting, and then you can change batteries. So that's the trade-off. This one's battery, this one's rechargeable, and I'll talk about that charger a little later. The price on the Streamlight is about $109, $110 without shipping. The price on the PL Mini is about $80 without shipping, but Amazon, I believe, has the Prime, so you can do that without shipping. But so there is a significant savings there, depending on which one you want to go with. So the immediate concern is that you can't really find holsters for this OLight for the PL Mini yet. I assume if it gets more popular, that's going to change. You can also probably have one custom made if you know someone, or if you make your own. The TLR-1, I know there are a lot of holsters out there for it because it's been around for a while. But for as good as this little thing is, I'm guessing that it's going to be around and we're going to get some holsters for it coming up in the future. So immediately, one of the things that I don't necessarily like about the TLR-1 is the switch. If you're right-handed, you just push down with your trigger finger and then you can get on target. If you're left-handed though, you have to push it upwards. So you have to get up and then back on target. So it's a little bit different because you just have that momentary setting if you are left-handed. That's one of the downsides for this. If you're shooting offhand, left hand, this doesn't quite work as well. With the PL Mini though, the switch is the same no matter which side you're on. You press it down, it comes on, down, it comes off, down, on, down, off. So no matter what you're doing, it's the same. I find that to be a better option for me. That way if you're shooting offhand, you don't have to remember to flick it up. You don't have to remember anything. It's muscle memory down, down. And I do like that about it. I think that is a better choice. I know some people probably won't like that there's no real momentary, because you just push it down a little and you can get that momentary, but it's very easy to knock it all the way down. But that's a preference for me. So the charging or the recharging comes with this proprietary little charger that's magnetic. So that's nice, because if you have this on the bedside table, you just give it a yank, you're good to go. It'll just fall away and then add back. It is USB on the end, so pretty much any plug-in that you have for USB to charge. You can even use your laptop or that power block you have for your phone if you're on vacation or out in the wilderness and accidentally leave it on and kill the battery. So that's nice, but I don't like that this is a proprietary charger, because that means if I leave this at home, I'm out of luck. If I break this, I'm out of luck. If I lose it, I'm out of luck. If that cable gets frayed, the cat, dog, whatever chews on it, you're gonna have to buy another one. You can't just buy it off the shelf. So I don't like that about it, but I do like the fact that it's rechargeable. I like the fact that it's not a plug, that it just pops off if you need to pull the gun off the side table or out of a drawer, wherever you may keep it. Or you can just run this into a safe, I guess, if you wanted to do that to make sure it's always charged. That's not necessarily the best for the battery, but it's an option. So one of the things I do like is this attachment. It just slides right on. You get it in there, click it down, and you're good to go. And it does sit back behind the edge of the slide by about, ½ inch there. So that's nice. You can run your finger along that trigger guard and get that on and off. It sits very nicely. A little bit harder to see on that black, but there you go. It sits, pretty flush there, and I like that. It's not down below the trigger guard. It's not out in front of the barrel. It's a very good fit for this Glock 22. So you can kind of make a decision based off your length if that's going to fit for you. And then to take it off, it's just a click and pull, and you're done. By comparison, you have the TLR-1, who has this screw. You get that on there, screw it down, which is not that bad of it's not that bad, but look how much further it sticks out. Look how much further it sticks out there. I mean, it's out in front of the barrel. It's below the trigger, well, it's level-ish with the trigger guard. It's just a little more bulky. So it just adds, it adds almost ½ inch to the front of your gun. So if you're carrying concealed, that's not exactly, beneficial to you. So earlier I said the Lumen Rate on the Valkyrie is 400 and the TLR-1 is 300. But because of the beam pattern, that doesn't necessarily give you the whole story. The PL Mini Valkyrie is more of a floodlight, whereas the TLR-1 is more of a spotlight. So it actually, at distance, you seem like you're getting a better beam pattern with the TLR-1, but with the PL Mini, you're getting a greater spread on your light. So you actually get a little more situational awareness than you do necessarily with the TLR-1. So I'll show you a couple pictures right here. And you can see the difference there. This TLR-1 seems to get out further, but if you're inside or close quarters, the PL Mini seems to get a better spread, so you can see more or not have as much of a hot spot as the TLR-1. So what it comes down to, for 80 bucks, I mean, this thing is really good. For a bedside gun, for a concealed carry gun where you're not getting much distance, I would buy one more, two more of these to put on a few more guns. I just like it. It's small, it's compact, that switch is nice, it doesn't rattle at all, it's super tight on the gun. There's no holsters for it yet that I'm aware of, so that's the one downside. I mean, I've formed Kydex before, I could do it again just for this, but I'd rather see someone make a nice holster that I can use. So I would buy it over the TLR-1 for close quarters inside the house, maybe camping, stuff like that. Something that's a little bit closer that you need a wider beam pattern on. The 400 lumens is great, but it just doesn't seem to reach out as far. It seems to disperse a little too quickly for any long range stuff. Whereas the TLR-1, that beam pattern gives you a better range from what I can see. But if you're inside, it gives you a giant hotspot right in the center of your vision. Whereas, the PL Mini gives you a better view of everything around you. So I think you just need to cater whichever one you choose to what you're going to use it for the most. I'm obviously going to use it more for concealed carry and home defense, so this is perfect. I like this thing a lot. It's very solid. I mean, it's aluminum. So I don't really see that I'm going to be able to break this. So, I really do like this thing. I do like that it's rechargeable. I don't like that cable. I may just buy another cable just to have around because I feel like at some point I'm going to break it, step on it, any one of 1,000 things to screw it up. The TLR-1, I had the same batteries in it for a couple of years and I was using it, pretty actively, and they never quite died. They were dim. But batteries are I think I got them for $6 shipped off Amazon Prime for this review, so I could have fresh batteries and a fresh charge in this to compare them. As long as you remember to charge them though, I don't see why you would have to worry. I don't know how long these batteries will last. That's my one question. At least with these, you can replace them. With the rechargeable ones, not so much. So that's also going to be a long-term question that I'll answer at some point. I also think this is going to be a real great light if you're carrying something subcompact like, I don't know, the 26 or the 29. With those real short subcompacts, this is going to be perfect. Whereas the TLR-1, you're going to get a barrel that ends right there, and you're going to have an extra inch, so it kind of defeats the whole purpose of that subcompact gun for concealed carry. It's hard to find a flaw with this thing. It seems, other than the proprietary charging cable, this thing seems to be pretty solid, especially for the price point it's at. I would have no problem recommending this thing to anyone. So far, I have not found a problem with it. At $80, if you break it after a couple years, it's going to get its worth. I am kind of curious how weatherproof it is. I will report back if this thing gets wet or anything like that. I feel like this thing is a little out of, it's been phased out because of the size. Getting into the compact world, I just think that this thing is great. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I do like it a lot. Again, the only downside is this proprietary charger that I don't like. But I like that the switches are ambidextrous. I like it's an easy on, easy off. I like how tight this sits on the rail. There's no rattle to it, which is nice. Nothing on this thing rattles. Nothing on this rattles either, but this can, the screw on here can back out pretty easy. So it is something you got to check because you can't really Loctite it. It is spring loaded, but it can still back out, and it has backed out on me before. Whereas this with that nice, solid clip on is perfect. So it's a good buy. If you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, something a little more compact, I would not hesitate to buy another one of these if I break it. And I don't think I'm going to. I think it's pretty well made. And I think if you're looking for something, this is a good one to check out.